And now we can let everybody in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Great to see everyone here. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, hi.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
What's happening?
Lucretia, are you both of you are gonna start off, correct? I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, I just have a question. Lucretia, are you with your own account or you're with...
My own? Why?
Because it doesn't allow me to record on the computer.
As you can see, if it shows Lucretia, my name, it means I'm with my own account. Otherwise, you would have showed another name.
True.
Are you the host?
Yes. It says that it's recording. Anyways, okay.
So it doesn't allow two different recordings at the same time. That's funny.
Karen, are you able to record on your computer just in case?
Let's see. Right now I have either pause or stop recording.
For all of us.
I have another recording, Veronica.
Okay,
Yeah, so
great.
Natalie's doing a backup.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, then, good morning, everybody. Nice to have you here. Oh, Christine, hi, Petya. So nice to see you all, guys. And here we kick off the beginning of the festival. So, Lucretia, would you like to say something?
Hello, everybody. We are here with Karen doing an interesting approach of delivering the design of the year. So there is going to be a little bit of human design and a little bit of VG5, and it's going to be a synthesis. And there will be also, in a way, two perspectives, like the perspective Karen, her own individual perspective, and my own. So it is going to be a synthesis. Karen, would you like to add something?
Sure. Well, hello, and welcome. It has been a fabulous time here in Europe. I'm still in the Netherlands with Natalie currently, and the festival in Sofia was amazing, and so really excited to start the online and kick off the online International Human Design Festival. And so today we're going to start with our cosmic compass for 2026. So we know what to look out for, to know what to pay attention to. And you'll notice that it's also about leading with integrity. One of the big themes for this year is going to be leading by example. And in order to lead by example, we also need to be in integrity with ourselves. And so I really am excited to have this opportunity and privilege to present this information with Lucretia. It was so beautiful to meet both Lucretia and Veronica in person and to actually see them in 3D and give them a hug. And so we continue on live online. So interesting to be back online. And
welcome to the International Human Design Festival 2026, and we kick off with Karen Sherwood and Lucretia Constantine. I give you them.
Yay, beautiful. Well, Lucretia, do you want to start us off?
Yes. So let me click the next one. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at 2025. we're going to give it its tribute because it was a very intense year with many things happening on personal, professional, political, and any level. So we really would like to give it space so that we really can close that page, because as we know from human design, from the keywords for the abstract circuit, we need to give a pause, a space to reflect what has happened, to really have the awareness and to see what are our wisdom nuggets. Then we are going to jump into 2026 and we're going to look at all the activations there and see what are the trends, the opportunities, and how can we harness this influence, because it is going to influence it whether we see it, feel it or not. And yeah, if there are questions, we're going to answer them. If there is no time for these questions, we can move to Zoom room 3 and continue there if this is needed. So let's start.
Fabulous. So yeah, we'll start with introducing
manifesting generator jumps too quick. Would you like to say something, Karen? Yeah.
Oh, no. I was just going to say the importance of wrapping up, just as Lucretia said, the importance of wrapping up the old year before jumping into the new year. So that's all I was going to say.
Yep. It's different, Karen. When we were doing this live, we could see each other and, pass the ball and like being aware of what's going on. Now we are behind the screen. It's a bit different. All right.
Yeah, and a great experiment too. The difference between being in person and online, you can also feel and sense the difference. So we have to get into the flow.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, before we continue, we would like to really briefly introduce ourselves because some of you may know a little bit or more about us, but for some we may be new faces. So for myself, I would like to share that I have been for 15 years or probably even more in the experiment of strategy and authority and what it is to be me. I have been developing my private practice for 14 years with human design and also consulting, coaching, and therapy. I'm looking back at my life, I really can say I'm a serial entrepreneur because I have started and conducted many projects, small, big, started few businesses. And as for my expertise, I have been certified in energy psychology, such as EFT and matrix reimprinting and other levels in that area. Also NLP, therapy and coaching, art therapy, family and business constellation, human design. And I have been diving in BG5 and profit potential currently with Karen Sherwood, and I'm immensely enjoying it. And on the personal side, I'm a happy woman and a passionate manifesting generator in my daily life. And yeah, there is a lot of satisfaction in my life. Karen, back to you.
Beautiful. Well, I am a 1-3 generator, or in BG5, what we call a classic builder. So I have worked in business and have worked in many different businesses and have trained in many businesses. So over 30 years of management experience, and I absolutely love BG5. I was one of the founders of the BG5 Business Institute and helped develop all of the current BG5 curriculum, the timing of it and what the courses provide. So I absolutely love this information. I love working with students. I love also working with businesses. This is all a part of pieces that are coming together, and that, again, this is the first time actually in Sofia that I did any kind of live event for over 10 years. And so I'm excited to get back out there and do some more live events as well. So again, this is truly, truly my passion, and hopefully that comes across as well.
Thank you, Karen. And what can I say? 2 years ago, when I started doing courses with Karen, right from the very start, I was like, oh my God, I'm enjoying this so much, but I also enjoy Karen, just Karen herself. And I'm like, I was dreaming, how can we work together? How can we do something together? And yeah, there you go. The manifestation happened. Not only we're doing something together, but we also saw each other live, which is amazing, beyond amazing. So let's continue. This quote from Ra, probably many have heard it. As far as I remember, he said that when he was talking about Gate 42, which is about endings and completion. Yeah, all is well that ends. So let's see how can we really harness the wisdom from 2025 with first having the like keynotes of this hero's journey. This was a shakeup, a refinement, transformation, and awakening, moving from crisis to progress, embarking on a hero's journey. For me personally, this image here of this water, of this geyser, really represents how I experienced and also observed 2025.
Yeah, and this is also a reason why it's really necessary to kind of, and when we take a look and complete the past and kind of see some of the keynotes from the past, we can also start to tune in and have the continuity of moving forward into the future. So again, if we take a look at the 37, or I'm sorry, the 3635, again, this crisis to progress was really what last year was all about. And it was also a year to stay grounded in our physical bodies and reconnect with universal love and innocence. And sometimes we had to do it the hard way, sometimes through crisis. There's a lot of up and down of last year.
Yep. And then this is something that we can call fast moving in the moment and cutting through the illusion. I would like to ask you guys, how many of you during 2025 become aware of illusions about themselves or a relationship or activity or a business or job? You can put a plus sign in the chat.
Yes, because that was a big theme. And it's going to continue this year in moving forward very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to, yeah. And the driving force of leadership is the power that may alienate or offend, affecting overall efficiency. So we saw a lot of that political wise throughout the world, where leadership was a little out of step. And where we could see where some people were alienated or offended, also affecting the overall efficiency of how leadership operated last year.
Exactly.
We're seeing this spill over this year.
And in communication, we seek relationships that are mutual benefit and restrict relationships that hinder ambition. So this is also a theme that in a way continue in 2026 as well. Are we going to hold on to relationships just because we're used to? There is the habit, or even though they may not be very healthy for us, or we are going to be brave enough to just maintain relationships that are mutually beneficial.
Yeah, and this is going to become really important in business as well moving forward, because this is also part of what the background frequency is going to be for 2027, to really seek relationships that are mutually beneficial and letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. And we have the values of deluding ourselves or others at the expense of awareness. Sometimes it's easier to I don't see what's going on, or try to delude ourselves at the expense of awareness. It really is a time to become more and more and more aware And so recognizing those values and where we're deluding ourselves and how can we break through in order to gain awareness was part of the theme of last year.
Yes, this strength here, this channel 36, 35, that could push us to jump into experiences because we think we might experience this and that and chasing the emotion or chasing some result. Yeah, usually it doesn't end how we thought it would. So the theme of maturation was in the sense of pursuing the inner meaning in the details through periods of isolation and reflection. I'm not sure if this crazy manifesting emotional energy gave us this opportunity. I personally wanted in so many moments to give myself isolation of reflection, but it just didn't happen. So I hope I will be able to do that in the next few weeks. So we'll see.
Yeah, and take a look at your last year. I know that there were periods for myself that I did need to just isolate, even, even for a few hours or a few days, just to reflect and just to find the inner meaning of why everything was happening. So think back over the last year and see if you've given yourself that space of isolation and reflection to process everything that happened last year. And we had the personal law in a self-destructive reaction to rejection and a loss of self-worth. Again, with all of the shakeup and crisis of last year, there may have been moments where you felt a sense of loss of self-worth, that you didn't feel good about yourself. So just kind of take a look again. That may or may not have happened last year, but see if there were periods last year where you had that loss of self-worth, or that you had to had some self-destructive reactions that maybe also had you reflect on, oh, that wasn't so good.
I observed this trend, like this development, mostly on collective level, like in society or country. Yeah, that was very obvious.
Yeah.
So,
and again, all of these things you can see out in the world as well.
Mm-hmm. So we had also the influence of the planet of judgment and discipline, showing us that the logic of leaving all doubts behind is something that it would be best that if we could do that, and not turning previous struggle into an obsession, the nostalgia of wanting to return to how things once were. I personally heard myself saying this many times in 2025.
Yes.
And yeah, Karen?
Oh, and we found our uniqueness through a practical acceptance of another path. So as we move into 2027, you may notice that you've had to leave some things behind, which again, you're the nostalgia of, oh, I wish it was still the same way, but also the practical acceptance of, okay, things are changing, things are shifting, it's time to go on another path. And for many, have left their jobs or left relationships or left careers. Again, the acceptance of another path. It's time to go a different direction.
I have heard like quite a few people around me saying that they just woke up one day and they had this awareness, I can't do this anymore. It doesn't matter what it was, like job or something else. I can't do this anymore. Like I also hear the the sleeping phoenix in this, but it's happening. So what was hidden is the inevitable survival of the right, the fate that the powers of darkness eventually destroy themselves. This was this activation in the emotional center here. So yes, we saw that many developments on social level, especially in Bulgaria. There were lots of strikes, lots of aggressive strikes, and yeah, we'll see if this is going to be of any use and if it's going to transform something for the better.
And then in Truth and Transformation, which is Pluto, which made its big move into trait 41 or gate 41. However, it was in trait 60, quality 6 or line 6 for quite a while. And it was the Truth and Transformation requires acceptance and rigidity. The intuitive intellect to recognize when absolute rigidity is essential, but with innovative applications to lessen the severity. It can also be uncompromising restraints that becomes unbearable and leads to chronic depression. So again, just looking to see throughout the last year, did that lead you to, like I said, kind of a melancholy, a depression of everything's changing, nothing's staying the same, as we took a look at with the other aspects, and really the acceptance that things are changing and it is time to move forward.
And as we discussed many times in the BG5 course and also during the festival here in Sofia, if businesses do not innovate, they will become obsolete. So this is also on personal level. We need to have this awareness at the back of our head, like a little light, that the moment you feel comfortable and everything's fine, this means that it's time for innovation, for change. So we would like to invite you to use these questions. So far, people have found them really, really helpful. It's like, have a look. You don't need to answer to each of them, but just maybe they will derive new awareness. Sometimes we tend to see more of the things that we didn't like, the things that fail, or so it seems, and we don't see the good things. So we give you just around 3 minutes, 4 minutes to contemplate these questions and maybe have your insights, your aha moments.
Yeah, so grab a pen and grab a piece of paper, and we're going to just do, just as Lucretia said, just a few minutes of just the reflective questions. So I'll read through the questions, and if it sparks something, write something down. The whole point of this is to really allow yourself to think back and release 2025. We're already in 2026, but this allows us again to complete 2025 before we fully step into 2026. So as Lucretia was beautifully saying, sometimes, right, if we take a look at all of the stuff that happened last year, it can seem somewhat negative. So what stands out, or what are some of the highlights of 2025? And look at really the good things also that happened in 2025.
Yes, because this channel 3635 is eventually about maturation. So for me, it was really a very nourishing awareness. Who am I at the end of 2025? And I really am a different person. And I learned so much. I could write a book about that.
And did you initiate? Did you wait for invitation and recognition? Did you wait for response? Did you wait to be initiated? And what was the final outcome? And did you have expectations through 2025? Think about and write down, who were you in 2025? How did you carry yourself? What was your experience of yourself in 2025?
In the beginning, when I did the forecast for 2025, people were so happy. Oh, manifestation year. Finally, I'm going to do and start and or continue projects and other activities. And I really tried to make to put an accent on that if the year is like that, it doesn't mean that we all have to rush into manifestation to make things happen and so on. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. And where did you experience those hurdles, crisis, resistance? How did your relationship, this is a very interesting question, how did your relationship with technology evolve over the last year? And where did you experience good fortune? What has changed? Who are you now as 2025 has now passed? And in what ways have you matured over the last 12 months? And also look at yourself professionally in money and career and business, really exploring what worked or what didn't work. Taking a look at your collaboration and working with others and what worked and what didn't work. And also, where did you find yourself in leadership, in a leadership role, or being an example for others in the last year? You know, last year was the Chinese Year of the Snake. This is the Chinese Year of the Fire Horse that we're moving into. And so last year really was about shedding our skin as a snake. And then this year, moving forward with fire as a horse. So we'll see things moving forward much quicker. And so again, as we've shed the old, we are now free then to move forward. So again, just jot anything else down from last year that really stood out, that really needs to be completed, both the good as well as the not so good.
Yeah, we had participants at the live festival during these questions. They gave us very interesting feedback that they thought they closed the page, and through these questions they realized that they didn't, and there were even tears of really releasing whatever had to be released, so that you can really feel free without a baggage to step into this new cycle. And it's not only a new year cycle, it is also really stepping on a bridge that is leading us to completely new times.
Yes, exactly. So just take a little bit more time just to write down anything that's come up for you for 2025. We will move forward.
We can share this presentation, no issue here at all, but if you would like to screenshot this slide and just do something with it later on, that's also fine. And yes, let us move on. So if we could say about this New Year cycle, its motto, its title in 2 words, beginning anew on every level, like new beginnings in many, many different ways.
So let's step into 2026.
Yeah,
So
you can make with your legs a step forward, or just a gesture, like, yes, I am really entering the new, not only the new year, the new.
The new. And with 2026, the challenge is still going to be the releasing of the old, which is also part of why we started by releasing the old of 2025. And there's going to be more release that's going to happen in 2026. So there is still going to be the challenge of releasing the old as we dream and launch into new beginnings together in community without losing ourselves, that makes a contribution and influences others. So there is a huge theme of community, of not losing ourselves in community with others, and to truly live by example while starting something new and releasing the old. So that's what this new year is all about. So now we're going to dive into the details of what this looks like.
Thank you, Karen. And I just remembered while I was listening to you what a great, really great facilitator in business constellation said in one of his trainings, that very often in business we can get stuck. We want to start, we have the resources and this and that, but we didn't let go of something. Very often, to really be ready for the new and start the new, you have to really make you have to have a closer look if there is something that you need to let go so that you can really move forward. And we actually did an exercise that showed the theory in practice, so it was very powerful. The letting go. It's so important. All right. So here how this design of the year looks like. And these are the overall themes. So there it is. We have 4 times activation in the gate 41, which is all about new beginnings. And we have there the Sun, Mercury, this is the planet of communication, Venus, which is the planet of value and friendships and also business. And this is Pluto, truth and transformation. So all of this, a lot of pressure because this gate is in the root center, which is all about physical pressure. So we will feel that in our bodies as well. And then we have also Jupiter, which is the planet of good luck, of expansion, of learning. It is in here again in the root center. There it is, gate 53. I'm showing it with my mouse. And it is also, gate 53 is also about new beginnings. This is how the gate itself is called. So yeah. Here it is where these many new beginnings come from.
And you can see how powerful the new beginnings are, this pressure for new beginnings, and to dream. The 41 is the start codon to start things new, and the 53 is very expansive. So it is also in new beginnings. So expect new beginnings. And sometimes they're going to be surprising new beginnings as well. So we're going to need to adapt very quickly as things move forward. And we have the channel of community, and what we call the strength of community in 3740. This is a design of being a part, seeking a whole. So as individuals and as we are true to ourselves, what you're going to see as we move into this year is communities coming together as well. So one of the big themes is how do we be ourselves as an individual, yet still connect with others in community?
And I would like to add, or not.
Or not. Exactly.
Because this is tribal energy, this channel 3740, and there is no logic in the tribal. So we might get along and we even wouldn't be able to explain when, oh, I just love this person, or this community here. Or just saying, I just cannot be with these people and I cannot even say why, like both ways. So we will be seeing that happening a lot. And we also had an interesting observation in this topic during the live festival. When you put 2 tribes together and they either like each other or not. And I would like to also ask you guys, if you have been having this kind of feeling or thoughts that you just have a really deep, urgent need to have a look at all the aspects of your life and just really reflect what is it that you actually want, what is it that you don't want at all, and as if something is urging you from the inside to have a look at each aspect of your life and really have the awareness what is going on. You can put a plus in the chat box, because I hear this from so many people around me, and they're asking me what is it in the transit. But this is Pluto in gate 41. It is going to stay there for a long time, and since gate 41 is the beginning of, it's a start codon, it's DNA sentence is always in the beginning of any DNA sequence. So we are going to feel that something is changing, because Pluto is the planet of deep, deep, deep transformation. And we may even don't, we may be not able to explain what it is that we are feeling, what it is that we are wanting or not wanting. Stay calm, observe, maybe journal, and yeah, have patience, because this transformation from Pluto, it doesn't happen for 1 week or 1 month. It will take years. So let us be patient with ourselves and others, and allow ourselves, if we are confused and we don't know, and we need time to just sit down and just connect with ourselves and ask, what am I feeling? Like, what does this mean for me? Because I have that, and I believe many other people have that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And the 3740, of course, is part of the era of planning as well. So it's interesting that this is the definition for this year as the era is fading, and in February of 2027, which is now, close to just 1 year away, that shift, that change, the 3740 is fading away. So the universe is really supporting us in how do we connect and work together in different ways, and how do we come together also as humanity.
Would you like to continue,
Yeah.
Karen?
And so again, one of the big themes for this year is leadership, and it's leading by example. This is also part of BG5, and these are two of the leadership traits in the Penta. One is the 8, which is about contribution. This is also PR in the Penta. And so getting the word out there, allowing yourself and others to make a contribution and accept those contributions. This is Uranus, which is unusualness. What is unusual about the contribution that we're making, and how do we get the message out there in a bigger way? And then of course the 31, also part of the Penta, which is about influence, it's about administration, is what really grounds us. So leadership is going to be a huge theme, and we're going to see as we go through and explore this how leading by example is the key. And so each of us taking responsibility for ourselves as leaders and how we can connect with others, because ultimately we've given up, and many people have given up their own authority to follow others. This is a time for us to step into how we are all leaders, and we're all leaders in different ways, and have the ability to make a contribution to others.
I have already found myself in situations where I promised to help an artist to show more of their very interesting, very unusual artwork. There it is. And I would like to add that Uranus, being the planet of innovations, eccentricity, something very unusual, we may use this influence as to innovate the way we present ourselves, the way we show ourselves out there, as a person, as a business owner, and so on, and how we market ourselves. Maybe, who knows, this year even more technological miracles are going to become available for us to show our contribution in a very unusual way. We'll see. And there is also one very interesting aspect in the design of the year. We have line 4 5 times. We have it in the notes. We have it Venus, the activation of Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus. And line 4, this is a quality that is fixed. So wherever you have line 4 in your design, you're going to be very fixed there. You're not able to be flexible. You can only externalize this quality, whatever the activation happens to be. And this is also the influencer and the networker. So it's a very good year to put more effort in collaboration, in networking, really finding a way to spread the word about our business, products, services, our mission, a project whatsoever. Yeah, it is going to be very much noticed. Anything else you would like to add, Karen?
No, I think you said it beautifully. Again, again, we can see the theme of community, connection, networking, close people that are close to us, delivering a contribution. So again, you can see the patterns and the themes arising.
Yes. There is also one interesting quality about line 4. It is either friendly or it could be perceived as mean. So if you notice all of a sudden someone who was friendly to you or you were friendly toward someone and all of a sudden that's not there, this is about not thinking that you are mean or the other is mean, but this is an emotional activation, and emotions require a bit of time to become aware what does this mean. So yeah, let us not jump into quick conclusions and quick decisions this year as also 2025, because it's an emotional year.
Mhm.
And now we're going to see a little bit about each details about each activation. So here we have the environment of this. These are the nodes, the lunar nodes. They are very important also in our individual design. So we're going to have a movement from denial to need. This is the quality of the emotional wave here. And we're going to start with the organizing power of the ego to maintain separateness. This is gate 40. This is also a gate of denial. So in the first 6 months of this year, we may see many different ways of saying no. And a great example if in that is the moment the notes went into line 4, our president handed his resignation. And this is the first time something like this happening in this country. So it's very interesting. Karen?
Yes. And we move towards, again, this theme of leading by example. So we move towards the need to lead by example, really recognizing that anyone can take on a leadership role, really ultimately standing in our own individual power. And one of the things that we'll see as as businesses change, the top-down structures are going to start to fall apart. And we're going to see that there are going to be different groups or different pods that then work together. And each one will have a different leader. So the fact that anyone can take on a leadership role is part of also what we'll see in the 40 moving towards the 37, to really lead by example and know that by bringing together community and bringing together community in different ways and leading those communities, we can overcome, and we can fix those things in society, in the world, that we're not so happy with right now.
And I totally agree with this description that you just shared, Karen. I have someone very close in my in my environment who has gate 40 in undefined heart center. And I heard her very often to say, listen, in the family, everyone contributes with whatever they can. Like if I can make the bread, I make the bread. Don't ask me to do something else. Exactly what you said. So yes, this is if we are grounded in our authenticity, we do just that. We do us. You do you. And this is the greatest leadership. And also, this is about exploring how to maintain our individual sovereignty while being in a community personally and professionally. I think this is the great question of humanity. Like, how can I be an individual and how can I be in a group? Like, this has been always, I think, a question. How we do that in a healthy, harmonious, correct way.
Yes.
Anything else you wanted to add, Karen?
No. That's perfect. And I think, and you'll see that this theme carry forward if you want to go to the next slide, and you'll see this theme carry forward of the driving force of love and family. So the best relationships are where we lovingly nurture, support, celebrate, and challenge each other to be kind and to grow. So you can see that we're starting separate, and we're moving into community. And how do we connect in a different way? This is part of what the driving force is, because the driving force is also in 37. So the driving force reinforces the importance, again, of family and friends through love, and the natural harmony and perfected sharing and devotion to those that we love, both personally and professionally. So oftentimes in the workplace, it's like a second family. We oftentimes spend more time with our work family than we do with our biological family or our birth family. And so to really create, if you will, this connection and community, if you are not working with people that you love, that are family, that are friends, you're going to start to see that fall apart as well. Again, starting to find those people that we really truly connect with. We are a family with a future, and we're going to be talking about that tomorrow as we go through our BG5 journey tomorrow. Really, again, that business and work family, so we can see how important it is, again, to be ourselves within community and really have that community based in love, both personally and professionally, which you don't typically hear the word love when it comes to business, but that's going to become more and more key moving forward.
Yes, we hear more targets and the budget and this and that. So then we continue with the position of Sun and the Sun and Mercury, the planet of communication, and also how our mental process is going on in gate 41 on line 1 in detriment, or as we say in BG5, it is a challenged position. So there may be hot-headedness of communicating our new dreams. And there will be the need for reasonable and appropriate delegation of responsibility. And we all have our unique gifts and talents. Do what you're designed to do and delegate the rest.
Yes.
We already saw this because this is a collective gate. So during the festival, we really, it's a 5-day festival in Sofia. We saw a lot of the activations of the design of the year already playing out there. So there was, hot-headedness about, in this regard, like, these are my feelings, and I want to stick to them. And it's a little bit of this contradiction. You have your own feelings, I can see that, but yeah, I'm interested in mine. And it can be a really fired up communication about that.
And one of the things about the hot-headedness is to also not take it personally. Natalie knows this. As I was going through getting on the plane, they were measuring our suitcases. Mine was like like this little minuscule over, like that small. And they're like, nope, you have to check it and you have to pay, you have to pay an additional amount in order to get it on the plane. I had a little bit of a hot-headedness there because it just felt so ridiculous because it was like literally like a minuscule over. And so I kind of exploded. And afterwards we got on the tram and we were both laughing because it was like, oh, that shows the hot-headedness. I was really upset. So really seeing the hot-headedness show up and recognizing the hot-headedness, again, there's going to be some emotional triggers. You may find it for yourself, you may find it for others. And there were periods that it surprised me that I was so hot-headed. I have the 30, but I don't have the 41. So it creates that channel. So recognizing the hot-headedness, again, not taking it personally and letting it go as quickly as possible is one of the things to pay attention to as we move into 2026.
Yeah, with emotions, breathe in, breathe out, make a pause, and see what really happens before jumping into conclusions, if possible, of course. So the next activation from Venus, again in gate 41, but online 4, again in a challenged position. So wherever we see this triangle pointing downwards, this means that it's just going to be challenging and we really are going to learn a lesson there, which is, if we see it from the positive side, great, because if we are just in the good emotion, in the good vibe, everything's fine, everything's perfect, there is no development. So we have here keywords as successful adaptation to limitation, value in our new dreams may be challenged in correcting and adapting to limitation. There may be an energy which fuels holding on to feelings rather than adapt. So this direction here that the gate and the line has, successful adaptation to limitation, is going to be difficult. It may not happen, or it can happen, not to full extent, or it's going to be really a huge challenge. Weak associations are shunned as costly, no matter how attractive. The advice here, if we can call it that, work with what works.
Yeah. So again, in the new beginnings, not taking things personally, and then also recognizing what we talked about earlier in completing 2025 is, weak associations are shunned as costly no matter how attractive. So it may sound like a great partnership. It may sound like a great new job. It may sound like a great new relationship, but really feel into it. Is, what are the limitations? Is it something that you're willing to adapt to or not? And whenever there's something new, it can be very challenging. And it can be very challenging because things happen that are unexpected. Things happen that you weren't able to adapt to. The 41, part of this stream of the beginning of the human experiential way, and having all of these expectations, that we may end up getting disappointed with those expectations. And so instead of holding on to feelings, again, that's going to be the challenge, to be able to let go of those feelings much quicker, and not to hold on to them, because if we hold on to them too long, it can also be detrimental. Recognizing the hot-headedness and the correction in new beginnings, and not carrying it around, letting it go, so that you can adapt and really work with what works.
And Venus being the planet that governs relationships, business, money, and also has the aspect of value and standards. So we better really pay attention to these themes, to these aspects of our own life and reality, if we are compromising our values and standards, because that's just not a good idea. All right, and then we have the activation from Mars, which is the planet of immaturity and the possibility for great transformation and maturity. So again, here, this Mars always gives this flavor of being either not really responsible, not really there, or just being a hothead. And yeah, the maturation happens in time. So it is in gate 60, limitations. And the keywords here are that we mature through conservative approach, which recognizes the limitation of the ego gratifying self-interest. So this is kind of, you can see that this is balancing the scales in the design of the year. We have the hothead, but then we have this activation that is that could help us potentially to not rush into things, to have this conservative approach and really see things for what they are. And the less ego, the better. Energy, which ignores limitations and pays the price and suffers predictably. This is also part of this line here that we have. And if you ignore the limitations of your design, you will pay the price emotionally or financially or physically, like in many different ways.
Yes. And, there's a lot in business where it's me, pay attention to me, this ego gratification. What we're going to see is we're moving away from that ego gratification and moving towards connection and community where everyone is a leader. So it's not just me. And those that are, needing this ego gratification may pay the price or suffer predictably because they may have expectations that they're the center of attention or they're high up in the hierarchy, and that hierarchy is starting to break down. And so recognizing, again, you can start to see the themes of how everyone is a leader and recognizing everyone as a leader, recognizing that everyone has value. And again, when we ignore the limitations of our design, because oftentimes those that have also the big egos are the ones that are also have it undefined and trying to prove themselves as well. So if you are ignoring the limitations of your design, you'll ultimately pay the price.
Yeah, so imagine this urge for new beginnings, like really pushing us from the root center. And if we ignore the limitation of our design, we can pay a really big price. So yeah, let us be aware and always remembering our strategy and authority. Hey, am I making this decision through strategy and authority, or it's not very clear who or what is making the decision? And then we have the personal law. This is Jupiter in gate 53. Again, new beginnings. On line 4, get fixed. Like this is again an activation that can really make us feel fixed, that new beginning on any cost. And so there is the assuredness to maintain our individuality in confused beginnings. So there will be confused beginnings. And I have put this funny image here where, you can look like kind of like the others, but then you're not. So how can we have this theme here, like to be yourself, to be grounded in yourself, in your individuality, in your own truth, even in new beginnings with others, because this is a collective gate. And we have here the ability to maintain the strength of your individuality in complex and often awkward situations. Oh, I saw that during the festival many times. And the persistent, difficult, in awkward situations where normal emotional reactions may prove detrimental. Would you like to add something, Karen?
Oh, I think there's one more bullet too, as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so things will be a bit confusing in this new year. Things will be a bit awkward. That's why I love this picture. It's kind of awkward in new beginnings. And so again, don't take it personally. Just recognize when things are confusing, when things don't make sense, when you're in kind of awkward or difficult situations, and recognize again your emotions. You know, do you get activated emotionally or not? And if you do, how can you not take it personally, allow those emotions to settle, knowing that there's going to be confusion? Again, whenever there is new beginnings, things are different, things are unique, things are out of the norm, things that we're not used to. And so really grounding yourself and this expansion of, you know, things will be confusing and awkward in new beginnings, but you don't have to take it personally.
Yes. And, you know, so many activations about new beginnings, but there's a big but. If you're a generator type, pay attention if you would want to like really passionately start something new. But the wisdom here is that, okay, you can start because it's so exciting, it's so interesting. You know, it's like going to traveling to a new land that you have never been, and you get so excited, something new. So the new is also always seems so exciting. But then can you carry on through the middle and to finish? You know, this is a question that you can observe how your energy in your body is responding, is moving. Or if you are a manifestor type, new beginning, oh, how juicy. But do you have a team of generators that can carry on the work so that there is also a completion, not only a beginning, and then all of a sudden everything stops? The same for the people who are projectors or reflectors. You would need to really consider, okay, this is great new start in my eyes, in my feelings, but can I carry on really the whole thing? Because it requires a lot of energy. So it's something to really be aware of. And then we have judgment and discipline, the policeman. This is the Saturn. We have this planet in gate 36, the gate of crisis, on line 6, which means when you have an activation on line 6, it means the whole circuit of the body graph is influenced. So it means again that we're going to have experiences that if we have expectations, if we think, okay, I'm gonna do that because I'm gonna attain or experience or receive or get that, that is not going to go in this way. I promise you that. So we have here also the sorrow of change, the inevitable survival of right, the challenge of a profound sorrow and cynicism in the crisis of change. Karen, would you like to follow?
Yeah. And it's really the acceptance that it's not always going to be easy. Change is not easy. And I feel like this next year, we're going to see some really big, dramatic changes. And there'll be a grief over the loss of the old era. We are moving into something completely new. And also give ourselves time and space to grieve what once was. Because also when there is any change, it's important to allow yourself that time to process, to release, to grieve. I know in some major changes that I've had over the past couple of years, I've had to spend some time just grieving. And oftentimes I would say, no, I need to move forward. I need to get things going. And just being with the profound sorrow or with the loss and with the grief is just as important. Again, you can see it's in challenge. And in a sense, if you don't complete it fully, you bring it into the next cycle. And so in completing it fully, we can let it go and fully step into the changes that are ahead of us, both personally as well as professionally.
Exactly. And Saturn is also the planet that is about becoming an adult, really. And if we look from this perspective, these activations, it means that becoming having an adult approach toward crisis, towards change. If we cannot, if we find accepting a change challenging, at least the adult approach would be just, to sit down or to talk about with someone or just reflect. Why is this so difficult for me? Why do I resist? Why do I have a cynical point of view? Like right now comes to mind that all those people who are against artificial intelligence and ChatGPT and so on, like there are really people who say that this is nonsense, that this is another manipulation and so on and so forth. But then again, the reality, it is what it is, and we don't need labels for the reality. But what do you do with this aspect of realities that is of value? So yeah, we need to become adult about emotions, because this is a gate in the emotional center, like emotional intelligence, and to deal with change not through cynicism and fear, but with from an adult place in ourselves. And there is the activation of Uranus, uniqueness of leading by example in gate 8. And I have put here two paintings from Marisa Arce. You can find her on Instagram. This is the handle. And she has only individual activations in her design, and she really creates amazing things in many different shapes and forms. She also does very interesting workshops. So if you're interested in just playing around with arts, you can look her up, and if you resonate, you can probably do something with her. So this is about the unique gift of recognizing the contributions of others who lead by example, the drive to contribute and be an example to and for others, a gift for contribution that is not conditioned by limitations. In a group where limitation is transcended, reason alone cannot predict individual worth. As an example, the acknowledged leader of an athletic team is not necessarily the most talented. Karen?
So it really is about recognizing the unique gifts and talents of others, as well as walking your talk. Again, this is a leadership trait. It's part of the Penta, it's part of PR. And so it really is recognizing the unique gifts and talents of others. What I can see in this new year is oftentimes the gift and talents, for example, especially of reflectors, or what we call evaluators, or the advisors, which are the projectors, sometimes get overlooked because we are in a builder world where it's, do, build. Also the initiators or the manifestors as well, that, what is valued is, the energy to create. But really truly recognizing those unique gifts and talents simply of being. Being is the new doing as we move into this new era. So recognizing the unique gifts and talents, which in a sense, maybe we haven't recognized before. I love this example of the acknowledging the leader of an athletic team that's not necessarily the most talented. It's not about talent and standing out and ego. It's about the energy. It's about the frequency that you bring that, oftentimes, for example, reflectors, when they're a part of the group, nobody actually really notices. But when they step away, people really notice. So noticing and recognizing and appreciating the gifts of just holding the space, the gifts of leading and guiding, the gifts of initiating. So it's not all about the doing. Each of us has our own unique gifts and talents depending on our design. And when we lead by example, we all win. Everyone is designed to be a leader. It's not the top-down structures. It really is leadership from within. And when you lead from within, right, we can honor each other and we can honor the skills and talents that each person brings to a team or an organization or a family, and recognize them beyond what we typically think of as what is needed, and recognize really the true gifts people bring according to their design. This part of what leading by example is all about.
Exactly. Very beautifully said. All right. And there is the last but not least activation by Neptune in gate 25, universal love. And being online too, this is about the dedication to the now. So this activation is telling us really only that devotion and dedication to the now, maintaining innocence by focusing on what is rather than what could be or has been. And this can be also very helpful. You see the balance, how all the activations are actually in perfect balance in any design, not only in the design of the year, like to help us to let go of what doesn't serve or is just old and it's obsolete, to let go easier. Because also Neptune has this effect of dissolving, like really dissolving stuff. So also we have here the perfection of the intellect through concentration and focus on what is. A dedication that can never be free of personal motivation and its attendant projections. So yeah, we all know that when we are not able, or we are simply would not, we're in our mind and we are digging in the past or worrying about the future and we are not now, then yes, things start to get out of the authenticity lane, so to speak.
So it really is about maintaining innocence by being present in the now and adapting. One of the things that we did on the VIP day, Natalie and myself and a beautiful reflector, Tara, we shook things up, and you had to be really present to the now. And I noticed myself, all of these things of, never free of personal motivation and its attendant projections, and really taking a look at how do you focus and be present in the now. The 20 is part of the new era, the being present in the now and the wisdom that comes from the now. And sometimes things are going to be shaken up. Things are going to happen very fast. Things are going to be different from what you expected it to be. But how can you maintain that innocence of really focusing on what is right now in the moment, rather than what has been or what could have been? And there's magic in the moment when you can take a look at what's wonky or out of step, and it's confusing in new beginnings that we took a look at earlier, and then say, okay, what there is just to be present to the now. And being present to the now allows you to release all of those expectations, release what you think it should have been, what it could have been, and really be present to the magic of the moment. And there was some really, really magical moments that never, ever, ever would have happened if we hadn't taken that hero's journey. So we're all taking a hero's journey as we move into 2027. And you can see there's a lot of focus on love, community, the now, and really truly being present.
And I was thinking about what you said about the reflector, that we I don't know, guys, if you have noticed, but we also offer during the festival a reading for a very symbolic fee from a reflector, and I already had one, mini one, and it was so powerful that I really recommend that you take advantage of this really small fee to be paid and have a reflector reading with Rachel Walmsley, one of our speakers. She also presents in the online festival. But this is really, really something special, and it hits right into the very truth.
Mm-hmm.
So we have here Pluto. What I wanted to say. There is also one interesting layer about the influence of Neptune. It is showing in your individual chart for you individually, but here in the design of the year collectively, the direction that if we stay true to this direction, we cannot lose. We cannot lose ourselves or lose our authenticity and so on. So from this perspective, if we stay really maintain our innocence by focusing on what is in the now, we are on the right track this year. So this is what I wanted to add. And then we have truth and transformation through caution. This is Pluto, again in gate 41 on line 2. Caution in not losing ourselves in aiding others. Humanism tempered by pragmatism. A conservative nature that does not risk its own security in aiding others. A desire for recognition that throws caution to the wind, depleting valuable resources for only temporary gain. So that's why I put this image here about the balance. So again, this theme between my individuality, my authenticity, and myself, and the group, the others.
So we're not here to rescue others. We're not here to save others. We're not here to think, oh, well, if I just help them, then they'll be okay. We're here to be a living example. So once again, we can even see with this caution of don't do anything that depletes yourself. Really, in a sense, it's the selfishness, if you will, of taking care of yourself first, so you can truly, truly lead by example. And through your example, you empower others versus, if you will, enable others. You empower others to be themselves. You empower others to take care of themselves. You empower others to know that they can also step into their own power and to their own leadership. Because oftentimes we have people in our life that are always looking for help, but then they become very, very dependent. And Ra had a whole quote of how we're lost in dependency. And that's going to be, in a sense, the biggest challenge that we have so much dependency, on governments, on the educational system, on the healthcare system, on outer authorities. We have so much dependency on things outside of ourselves that we're not inner empowered. And so this is part of this humanism tempered by pragmatism. Really, what is practical? Where can I help that really is of aid but doesn't drain myself? If it is draining you, people are taking your energy versus you standing in your energy and empowering others. So again, you can see this theme once again of leading by example, being yourself first, right? And then connecting with others in community.
Mm-hmm. Amazingly put. And I was thinking about how really BG5 and OC16 and Profit Potential can be of great help out there, because we are dependent very often. The reason for that, because we just do not know how to collaborate in a conscious way. We just don't have the alternative that is healthy, that can actually work. And that is why in our relationships or at work, all we can do is be independent in one way or another.
Yeah. And that's one of the keys in BG5 is not only understanding yourself and grounding in yourself, but how do you connect? How do you collaborate in partnerships, in small groups, in large groups? some may work for you. You may work well in large groups, you may not, or small groups or not, or partnerships or not. But how can we connect? How can we collaborate? How can we work together? How can we communicate in different ways once the bargain has gone away? Because we've been living in the tribal bargain of you do this for me and I will pay you X amount. That's what business has been about. So business is going to shift dramatically in how do we connect? How do we collaborate? How do we work together? How do we, work together in temporary union, which is part of what the new era is all about. And so I see things shifting very dramatically, especially in the next few years, where this year is really setting us up as the bridge of moving into very powerfully 2027. The more you can be yourself and how you can connect and work with others without the bargain. And that's what BG5 and OC16 and all of that is about.
Yes, and we're entering these Aquarius times that so many people talk about and write about. And Aquarius really starts in gate 41. And it is about being your individual self, serving life without being dependent. So Aquarius is about interrelations, conscious relating, but not being dependent. And yeah, let's hope we're going to channel that, humanity. And yeah, here we have a summary.
Yeah, so just to summarize everything and pull it all together again, you'll see again the common themes, the common things that we're all going to be experiencing this year as part of the background frequency. So again, overall, the challenge of releasing the old in launching new beginnings together in community that makes a contribution by leading through example. Again, it's an environment this year of community. It's the movement from denial to need. So we start with the need to organize influence by maintaining our separateness as we move towards leading by example and how we maintain our individual sovereignty while also being in community. And the driving force reinforces the importance of family and friends through love. That's another huge theme this year. Family and friends through this deep connection. That's one of the things that I absolutely loved in being live in Sofia is the deep connection and being able to actually give you a hug, Lucretia, and give everyone a hug in person. That where you can really feel that friendship, where you can really feel like you're a part of a family. And this natural harmony and perfected sharing, right? Really devoted, both in personally and in work, to those that we truly love. Recognizing there's a lot of challenges. I mean, if you take a look at this chart, you can see all of the down arrows. You can see all of the challenges of this year. But when you know those challenges are going to be there, you can approach them in a completely different way. And it can actually be quite humorous, like my experience at the airport with being hot-headed, is quite entertaining at the end. So the hot-headedness of communicating our dreams so that there is the reasonable and appropriate delegation of responsibility. Stay in your lane, do your design. Oftentimes where the hot-headedness comes from is that you're trying to be something that you're not. And so and other people will recognize it because you may be doing their job and not doing your job, and that can arise in emotional hot-headedness. So again, a reasonable approach to delegation and responsibility are values in the new dreams that may be challenged in correcting and adapting to limitations. So there may be the energy which fuels holding on to feelings rather than adapt. So again, don't take it personally. Learn to adapt, release. Breathe and release the hot-headedness, breathe and release the adapting to limitations. And we mature through the conservative approach, which recognizes the limitation of the ego gratifying self-interest, which ultimately will pay the price. The more it's me, and not in love or working, the devotion to those we love in connection with community, again, that ego gratification is no longer going to work. It's really seeing everyone as equals and seeing everyone as having their own unique gifts and talents. So the personal law gives us an assurance to maintain our individuality in confused beginnings, because it's going to be confusing. We're on the bridge to 2027. Some things are going to be so new, so different. It's, we have to be present to the moment and adapt and be able to adapt in the moment. And, because we're going to have to let go of things with judge and discipline, the inevitable survival of the right and the challenge of profound sorrow and cynicism in the crisis of change. There's going to be change, and things are not going to be the same. And we have to allow ourselves to also grieve the loss of the old and our unique gifts of recognizing the contributions of those that lead by example, and really honoring the unique gifts and talents of everyone. If you are here on the planet, you have something important to give. You have something important to share. Every single individual has a unique gift. And so it's recognizing the contributions of leading by example. And what's hidden is the dedication to the now, maintaining innocence by focusing on what is rather than what could have been, or has been, and the truth of transformation, caution in not losing ourselves in aiding others. So maintaining our individuality, letting go of the emotional ups and downs, being in love with ourselves, being in love with others, and truly leading by example.
Yes.
So that wraps up what this new year is all about.
And I would just like to add, because I have Gate 48, my son is there, a little bit more depth. This is an emotional activation. So what we know about the emotional center, when it's defined, we better not be quick in jumping to conclusions because of this feeling or that feeling, and give us a bit more time and space to digest whatever the emotion happens to be, even if possible, even if it's the so-called positive one, and try not to take immature emotional decisions, and to be aware of this push for new beginnings here on this side and also here. And also the ego center is defined, and it can give us altogether the sensation that we can force things, especially Gate 40 has this aspect to really trying to force things to happen with our will. Like I will force things to happen until I drop dead. But also, yes, we have this capacity here to withdraw and to really sense what is the good work that I would love to do in the community, because this channel 3740, it is about feeling touched by the divinity, like as if God is tapping you on the shoulder and whispering in your ear, good job. And we have this feeling, at least I had it more than once in my life. When I did a good job, I felt this feeling as if a transcendent sensation in my body, like really such a good job. So that's spiritual experience, because this channel is part of the sensing of the sensitivity circuit, 1949, 37, 40. So yeah, another possibility is, yes, for us guys to experience just that, really feeling the deep gratification and fulfillment of job really well done, not forced, but really well done from the heart, from our authenticity. And I would like to finish up with this image, of course, created by artificial intelligence. I didn't paint that. And this is something that I, at some point, asked Karen to write something about 2026 and forward. So this is what she wrote. We're living in a rare moment in time, the era of planning, an age shaped by family structures, work agreements, loyalty, and shared responsibility, is completing its cycle. And 3740, the strength of community, is its imprint. In 2026, that energy is still here and is our major lesson for the year. Not as something to cling to or resist, but as something to transform and ground into deeply before it fades from the background, for background frequency. The past taught us connection through obligation. The future will require conscious collaboration. Before that shift fully takes hold, we're being given one final year of support, a year to remember what real community feels like, to understand how we belong without losing ourselves, and to learn how we are actually designed to connect and work together. This is not a year to rush ahead. It is a year to gather together and support each other in this transition. This is what the International Human Design Festival and Immersion is all about. This gathering is a bridge between eras. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
just quickly reminding of this.
Thank you so much. It's been priceless. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Lucretia.
Of this period where you
thank you.
can listen and receive personal guidance from the universe from 2nd of February until 7th of February. And I think we don't have time. So guys, if you have questions, we can move to Zoom room 3 and have the discussion. Would you like that?
Can you share the link in the chat?
Um,
Or can I find it somewhere?
yes, the link is in the
Yes, I remember in the program.
document. Yeah, but I just, what is the chat?
The room is in the chat. The link is in the chat.
Thank you.
Oh, fabulous.
All right. I think there are comments and probably questions, but if you would like to move there, we will go there, right, Karen?